you an Instagram one time. I put out a song, and put out a project, and we're gonna play it real quick, and that's all I'm gonna tell the people. Now, I'm so used to telling people to move my slide. I've never had this power before. All right. No intro. Yeah, I think you had to hit play for me. It didn't work. I don't know. You got me, Scott.
Real G's move in silence like mine. I ain't rushing the grind, cause I trust the divine. When I hush and resign, I make the Mount Rush of the rhymes. It's lonely at the top, but the view crushes the climb. Lost track of space and time, I feel like Rick and Morty. Another chapter captured in a never-ending story. I tip my hat to all the cats that paved the way before me. The motivation's mandatory because I demand the glory, yeah.
But what's glory? A new Mercedes with the top off? Glory you take like a mercenary with the sawed off. Glory is gory, careful up there, you can fall off. As you race for one spot, glory is cruel, ha ha. To keep it simple, I feel like the Count of Monte Cristo. The same themes in this plot, just replace swords with pistols. Trading words and missiles, prayers for Palestine. Well traveled in these wars, threaten lives of pals of mine. Debates around the table, surrounded by the soundest minds. Tasting wine like, what's the difference? I've tried 1,000 times. Eyes got a cloud of shine, charcuterie board. Are we men or mice? She eyed me up and down like, dog, you ain't got that title right. She know her Steinbeck, she laid her spine back. I won't kiss and tell. Living the same dreams I made, throwing coins into wishing wells. First page since 1851, you can call me Ishmael. Spoiler alert, I survived the book with a story to tell. Lost track of space and time, I feel like Rick and Morty. On track to be 40, double fist in 40 ounces of bounce. Late checkout, penthouse floor 40. Said her name was Isabella, but the ID say Courtney.
What does that even mean? Anyways, so for some context, right? We put out that was the old me. That was the old Juju.
Just
Juju. So we put out that track just for kicks. The other rapper was a cat named S-Out, who was my dorm mate. I'm too British now. My flatmate, my roommate. Yeah, thank you. My roommate in college. And it was the pandemic, and he was like the best rapper I knew. And I was like, yo, I got this beat, let's go. And then it was like, 6 years later, dropping like a new track. And that was what we came up with. Now we dropped that track, and then I get a random message from Tim Staley. And Tim was like, yo, I'm using this track in my class, that verse. And I was like, Tim, why? What are you teaching them with that verse? And so with that, Tim, explain yourself, man. How are you using this in your classroom?
So like I said, I came out here in 2001 to study poetry, and as you know, there's no money there, so poets got to teach. So I started teaching, right away. And at the beginning of my teaching career, I was doing the stuff teachers do, like planning, that kind of stuff, and thinking, tomorrow I'm going to do that, this semester here's my goal. And I did that for a while, and I ended up making education stale, because I was like repeating again and again, and it just, I already knew what I was going to say, and there was no space for innovation, no time for the beating heart of artwork. And so what I started doing a few years ago, in order to remain in the public school system, I decided to just stop doing all the annoying stuff, stop doing all the planning, and just go in and be in the moment and try to find the heartbeat. Try to find the pulse of the art. And so teenagers, as you were saying, they like to move, they can respond to beats, they like rap. I don't even think Julian specifically texted me that. I just follow him, and I saw he had a new track, and then 5 seconds later, that's the lesson plan. 5 seconds later, we've got this on the screen with my seniors. Hey, it might not have been inappropriate, or it might have been appropriate. That's a risk you take. Now, it happened to be totally fine for school. They're not always.
There was just a bit of innuendo there, right? But we can get away with innuendo.
I have a 3 F-bomb rule, no more than 3 F-bombs. I work mostly with seniors, in case you're wondering. You're like, we're not going to send our kid to him. Anyway, so we're watching the song, and the magic is my students and I are witnessing a piece of art in real time together, and you don't get that when you plan and you think of all the smart things you're going to say on Sunday afternoon, all the big teacher stuff you're going to say on Monday to make your students learn things. See, there was none of that, because I'm seeing it with them. Now, I have some experience with poetry, so there's the knowledge of the craft, that no matter what piece of art you're looking at, you can bring in the stuff about the poetry. So all of a sudden, one thing that Julian did that I noticed right away was these allusions to literature. He had the Count of Monte Cristo on there, and he had several lines that were playing with Of Mice and Men and Steinbeck. And so after the song's over, we watched the whole thing. You watched the whole thing, the video? The kids definitely relate to Rick and Morty. That's one of the shows that's big for them. Heck, half the backpacks in the classroom have Rick and Morty on there, so it's like it's already connection for them. And then I spent the rest of the class talking about Steinbeck, talking about Of Mice and Men, analyzing the illusions, writing the word illusion on the board. So I'm still doing teaching, but I let the stuff appear in real time, and I don't try to manufacture what to teach. I let the moment show what to teach.
It's fantastic, man. Thank you so much. Well, you made me feel really smart when I dropped that Steinbeck spine back rhyme, though. Listen.
That's a good rhyme.
Listen. You know what I mean? First page since 1851. You can call me Ishmael? What?
And that's like Moby Dick or something. Yeah, so it just went on.
I had to Wikipedia that one though. I had to make sure I knew the date. Whatever time the book came out was when that date would be. So Tim, I'm thinking, I can